My good people. Give me a moment while I make sure that this broadcast gets shared to the places it needs to get shared to, as usual. And then we will get right on bringing out our guest and talking about what we got to talk about, as usual. As usual. All right, let's see. Share to the Sworn Nation. Because of our guest for the evening. Let me get this shared to the madness, and then we will get on with this show. Tonight we have what I have to say is has been a friend of mine since I first got involved with comic groups a long time ago. Hold on, let me kill this stupid TV because I don't need theme music. All right, so let me get this out to the madness, and then we will get on with this. Welcome, everybody, to Monday Night Madness. Our special guest tonight is the ambassador to the Sworn Nation. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but he's been called by quite a few different names. Geez, I got a phone going crazy in the background. I don't even use that thing. Why is it going crazy? Okay, here we go. We have the ambassador to the Sworn Nation. He is known as the Santa Claus, Mr. Bob Chronister. And Bob has been, I want to say, a good friend of mine since I first started doing this comic book Facebook thing like 5 years ago. At least, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And every group that I've migrated to, Bob always seemed to be there. Here we are in the madness, and there's Bob again. I also want to say hi to Troy Hudson, who joined the madness today, finally. One of the people I invited 10 months ago. I don't know if that invite got lost in the Facebook, whatever. It was a long time ago, but I've always been like, Troy's a good dude. I want Troy in the madness. So, how are you doing, Bob?
I am doing good. Doing very good tonight. How about you?
I'm good. You guys got to be excited about yet another slamming campaign, man.
This will be my fourth or fifth one that I've taken part in, and the amazing thing to me about Lady Death Kickstarters in particular is that every year they get bigger and better. You know, Brian is a marketing genius, I think, and I don't think it's a coincidence that the top five funded Kickstarters, I should say, are Brian's.
He's amazing. Hey, he's got so much energy, so much positive energy. I mean, the characters, they have a following. They have a cult following in the indie comic world, But it's like every campaign is a little stronger. It's a little stronger. And then you go to La Marita, and every one of those campaigns has been a little stronger and a little stronger. And hey, what he's doing, man, you can see him getting gray, but he's out there pushing it.
Well, I was Brian and I talked to Brian Friday night, okay, and he said, I always try to make all the events for the Sworn. He says I try to make it like you're in an AC/DC song.
Okay.
And I thought about it for a second, and I said, that's brilliant. Brian's all about fun. Brian's all about having a good time. No negativity, no drama, no crap. Because, one of the things that I think draws people into this group, the Sworn, is the fact that there is no BS. There's no drama. There's no attitude. There's no I'm better than you. None of that bullshit. You know, it's all about having a good time. You know, and it's always been that way. And you know, I'll share a story with you. I first met Brian at the MegaCon in Orlando in 2001.
Okay.
And
20 years ago. All right.
And so, you know, it's like I had just been collecting Lady Death for 7 years, 6-7 years at that point. And so when I heard he was going to be in Orlando, you know, I took my son and his friend and we went down there. And you know, this was like 2001, and I got to tell you, there's no difference between Brian Pulido now and Brian Pulido then, aside from years. Okay, he was energetic, he was friendly. I mean, I didn't know this guy from Adam, and I walked up and you know, introduced myself, and I told him that I had just gotten a Lady Death tattoo. He said, "Really?" He said, "Well, let me see that." So I rolled out my sleeve and I showed it to him.
Hold up, let me show that to everybody.
Yeah. It's hard to.
There you go.
So that's her. And so Brian looks at me and he goes, "Oh my God, that's incredible." And he said, "You know what?" He says, "That's dedication." He says, "And that's what we're all about." He says, "I got something for you." So I said, "Yeah, okay, cool." So he reaches into one of the boxes there at the table, and he pulls out an onyx, a black onyx, and hands it to me. And said, "This is for you." He said, "Anybody that's willing to go as far as to get a tattoo like that," he says, "you deserve this," and handed it to me, shook my hand, and dude, if I wasn't hooked already, I was totally hooked at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
I know you were. I mean, for me, it was like I knew about, you know, Lady Death, Evil Ernie from back in the day, but I was back then a much more traditional comic fan. You know, my regular DC Marvel heroes. I wasn't that big on the indies except for the underground stuff like Freak Brothers, obviously, you know. Okay, so I wasn't really that big on and I'm not a real huge horror fan anyway, so the genre wasn't there. But then I seen the movie, and I was a heavy metal fan, so watching the movie, it's like, okay, I can get it. Now I'm a little bit relatable to this. Now I'm interested. Here comes me getting involved in comic book groups on Facebook, and there it is, right in front of me. I don't even remember which one it was first. The Walking Dead homage, was that the first one? I don't know, but I jumped on and started getting them homage covers. I don't remember which one I jumped in at, but that whole top row up there, it's all homage covers.
Cool.
And the Blasphemy anthem, of course, I got the John Boy Meyer black metal, which, nice. Brian, forever, I love you. You know, it's like there's, you know, what do you do when you open up your package? And it's not just that. It's number 13 of 13. You know, there isn't even a, come on. So I did want to show that just because I can.
Right. It's your show, dude.
I want to show it off just because I can and because it's so pretty. I'm not going to go pull mine off the wall, but isn't she pretty?
She's gorgeous.
Yeah, man, I put her in frame with that metal COA in the frame with it, you know, side by side. Yeah, just something like that, okay? You don't order those. Those are gifts. Those are randoms. Those are tossed in there, man. And when you open up your Gemini and there's something like that in there, you just kind of go, what? because I'm going to tell you what honestly I did. I had totally forgot about that turbocharged thing. I had totally forgot about it. And when I opened it up, I was like, what's this? And I messaged Brian right away, and I'm like, did Travis order this? Because I thought maybe he sent us something wrong or whatever. And then I go look at the Kickstarter page, and oh, there it is, the turbocharged random thing. And so now I feel stupid. I'm telling Brian, yeah, I just smoked too much weed. Don't worry about me. But yeah, man, I was blown away. People don't do stuff like that much. There's just, that was amazing.
I think that's what sets Brian apart from the other Kickstarters are those tip-ins, those bonus items. I mean, like you got the black metal. I mean, and like on this one for Treacherous Infamy, you got a violet medal by Colette Turner. It's absolutely gorgeous. You got.
Let's go see if we can find that. Hold on.
Okay.
We'll just go ahead and slide down here. Everything, Brian's got everything and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, you got a chance to receive a Ken Lashley Jason Flowers sculptured edition, the Colette Turner violet medal, and ash cans and Stephen Butler scarlet medal. Look, you see it. The major. What? Do you need something? What? Well, be quiet then. it's the husky trying to make an appearance. Anyway, it's everything that this guy does is amazing. You see that 2,000 backers? That's because they get a package that's just a lot of amazing stuff every time.
Well, think about it. Okay, so for $26, which is the you can get the homage cover.
Yeah, that's what I do every time. Every time I get the homage.
So you do that, and you automatically get the free digital download. Okay, you get all the unlocked bonus items, and right now there's 22 plus. I'm not going to go through all of them, but there's a ton of them. You can get a free signature from Brian with a COA if you want it. And you get free U.S. shipping. I mean, that's just an incredible amount of stuff. And here's the thing: I figured out early on that the way to go was to do like a high roller or a mega baller if you could afford it. Because I sat down, because there's always a lot of really cool books. If you sit down and price out all the books that are contained in the high roller package, and then you look at how much it would cost you if you bought those individually, and then compare it to what you're paying for if you do the high roller, and dude, you're like getting 2 or 3 free books out of the deal.
And then you're like me, and you're a broke ass, and you buy the lowest tier, the homage, and you get lucky, and somebody throws something in there that makes it worth all the $26 that you spent previously. Yeah. I mean, that was how I looked at it. It was like there was that just like made every time that I bought one of those books, that made it worth it extra on top. Like they call it the cherry on top, but I'm talking about that's a sweet cherry, boy.
Yeah. And then the really cool part is, okay, let's say that you don't have a lot, or you're kind of strapped for cash. The campaign runs 30 days, right?
Right.
So if you plan accordingly, you could actually start out the campaign and not being able to afford whatever items you're looking at. But by the end of the campaign, if you save up the money, you'll have it, because you don't pay for it until the campaign's over.
See, now I totally understand that, Bob, but some of us have to budget like 4, 5, 6 of those different Kickstarters.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I'm a low budget guy, because I try to back as many of these people as I can, especially ones that are very interactive in our group and in my cons. And I mean, I try to back these people. The whole premise behind the con was to help out everybody who wasn't setting up a table. That it was,
Right.
it was like, oh my God, everybody's what are we going to do? Everybody's stumped. Everybody was just at a dead standstill and already had invested money in hotels and traveling and tables at the cons, and they had nothing coming in. So we tried to build something where they could still, reach out to the fans, and the fans could still reach out to them and get stuff. And it's just grown and grown and grown, like organically. The group has grown, the con has grown. We Comics Cast, the platform that we're on right now, they asked us to come and join their YouTube platform and everything and bring our shows there, which just made our reach even longer. It's getting crazy. And I look at all these Kickstarters that are doing good and people that are putting out a good product, and I want to be able to back as many of them as I can. So I go low tier on all of them just to make sure that I'm spreading that love out as far as I can with my little measly budget.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, Pops. It ain't about how much you spend. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
And Brian would probably tell you if he was on here, he doesn't care if you spent $26 or $1,000. All he cares about is that you take part and find out what the whole Lady Death buzz is about.
Well, see, that's the whole thing. It's like, I love that. I think it was the Walking Dead homage is the one that made me go, oh, I'm on board, and have been ever since. I think it was that one. It was either that one or the Bat, the detective homage, But I mean, is somewhere back there, one of them homages slapped me in the head, and I've been on board ever since. But since I started the group and really started to be a advocate for indies and a promoter of indies, it's like I want to get everybody to his level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want everybody to have a fan base that's this rabid. Because you guys got it. You guys got the magic formula going on over there. He's putting out the product, and the customer service we all know is beyond above. Oh, look, we got Rebel Gaming, which is my buddy LPH. He is the creator of Niobe Comics. He's got them all. He's got them all. So you guys have it going on over there. The formula is killing it, and the rest of us are out here going, what can we learn?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things I've learned, in the 26 years that I've been following Chaos back then and now Coffin, the one thing I've learned about Brian is a people person. He deeply cares about every single one of the people who follow Lady Death, and that's not lip service. That's absolute truth. As I travel around, metaphorically, if that's the right phrase, as I travel around the groups, Cyber Fiends and Collector's Corner and some of the other ones, and I see sometimes, people are, especially people that are Lady Death followers, they may be having a hard day. They may be having some strife or some trouble in their life. And I'll reach out to Brian and say, hey, Brian, could you reach out to so-and-so and, just kind of give them some words of encouragement or whatever. And as big in the industry as Brian is, the man will actually say, yeah, let me know who it is. I'll tell him. And he will actually contact that person personally, like individual messenger. He'll actually take the time to contact that person, let him know that he's pulling for him, and he hopes that everything gets worked out. That's the secret. Brian's a people person. He takes care of it, and that comes across in everything that he does, and you can tell that he is genuine. Brian's not phony. I mean, the Brian you see in all the promotions is Brian Pulido, effervescent, full of energies. He's like a demonic Energizer bunny, you know. But he cares about his people, and you know, I've gotten to know a lot of the like Monty Moore and I are friends. Okay, Dave Harrigan and I, Jesse Wichman. You know, I mean, we don't hang out obviously because we don't live near each other, but you know, I talk to him a lot, and you know, so and Yo-Yo, you know, Yolanda Ruiz,
Jason Hart and High.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, every one of these people are open. You know, Brian tends to also connect himself with open, genuine people, persons, if that makes sense. You know, so
well, I have to admit, I'll be like probably forever grateful to Brian, because Brian, when I dove into this CromCon thing and trying to help people, is like Brian came out the first time and gave us credibility, gave me some credibility for what I was trying to do. Because at the time I had no idea. You guys know that. I was, Bob, you know, I was Joe Collector. Yeah. I was just Joe Collector. I was not any of this, you know. And when COVID hit and the cons went down, I had this little group that I could try to help people, you know. And now we're over 1,500 people and doing CromCon 6, and Brian's coming back out to do it again, and that, you know, that kind of gives me a little push too, because when somebody like that's giving credibility to what somebody like me is doing, who I'm not a con organizer, I'm not any of these things, any of the hats that I put on the last 6 months, you know. And when somebody like that is coming out and giving me credibility and saying, yeah, good job, keep pushing, you know, now look at me. Now I'm part of an upcoming crowdfunding site, and you know, I have my own weekly show, and the con is rolling, and it's like, what the hell happened to Bob's? You know?
Yeah, dude, you got it going on. That's for damn sure.
And there's, you know, it's crazy. I mean, Raj Mahan write me into his book, and now there's like 4 or 5 different people that are writing. Todd wrote, you know, drew me into his book, and there's 4 or 5 more coming up, where some are using my likeness, some are doing me in a drawing. Look for me in Florida, man.
Okay.
You know, it's like I'm gonna be popping up all over the place. Pops is multi-dimensional in comics now. It is so crazy, Bob. I don't know what's going on, man.
Well, you know, it's like you know, the one thing about Sworn Nation is most of the people. Well, I'll say pretty much 98% of the people that are in it are also genuine. And just to give you an example, okay, back before Fiend Fest, and you know, when Brian announced Fiend Fest, you know, all of us got excited. It was really cool. Yeah, we're going to get to go out and meet people and stuff. And so I got in touch with Dennis Purish, and you know, I said, "Hey man, are you going?" He says, "Well, you know, I can't really afford it." And I said, "Well, listen, why don't you drive from where you live, drive to my house, and we'll drive out together, and we'll pick up some other people, and we'll do a road trip." So here's this guy that I've never met before. Okay, never met this guy. I invite him. He spends the night at my house, and then we spend the next 3 days driving cross country,
picking up other people like Huffman and who else?
Huffman, Jason Hart.
There you go.
Okay, and it's like when we met each other, it's like we had known each other. You know, like we had known each other a long time. You know, it wasn't like hey, how's it going? I never met you before, but you know, so that's the kind of people that are there. And we went out and had an amazing road trip out there, and then coming back, we had an amazing road trip back. And then so next year for Sworn Fest, we're planning the same thing, except now Dennis and I are going to meet up with Jason Coates, and we're going to drive out, and Jason Hart and his father are driving. We're gonna caravan, do the same thing, cross country out, have a good time, and then cross country back. You know, so. But that's the amazing part of Sworn Nation is we're all one big family, and you know you can meet somebody you've only talked to online, but once you've met them and you talk to them, it's like you've known each other your whole life, you know.
And there, you know, there's some people that I've met online and we didn't click, but then we actually had this kind of a conversation where we can see each other's faces and hear each other's tone. And turned out we were totally misrepresenting how we actually felt by texting each other, because you can't get none of that out.
Right.
You can't give your feelings when you're texting people, you know?
Right.
So there's been some people I, you know, started out not really friends with it. Now I'm really good friends with, because we actually took the time to talk to each other, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten to know, Haley Anderson from Australia.
Oh, Haley.
Oh, I'm telling you, she's an amazing woman, and you know she does modeling. She's a musician.
I know. I got her cosplay cover for Naughty Fairies on the way. See, that's what I mean, man. I got to spread that love out to all my people, because those people are all in the madness too.
Right.
And all the projects that they're involved in, man. I'm trying to help everybody, you know. So it's like, that's why I'm the budget guy, because I got too many friends now.
Hey, but it all works, brother. It all works, you know.
It's so much fun. You remember? I mean, when I first met Haley, it was like right after I first met her was when she got sick. You know, and then it was like the whole group just outpouring. You know, your group, my group, everybody's just outpouring love. You know, get better, get better, get better. You know, and then, man, she comes out of it. She hooks up with Wendy, does that cover, and it was like I was waiting. I wasn't sure what cover I was going to get from that, because they had 4 different books that they had cross promotion going on with, and it was like, what am I going to do? I can't get them all. You know, something special's got to pop up, so I know which one I'm going to get. That was the one special that popped up. Okay, we know what we're getting now. She did the Lita Ford cover. I was like, all right, there it is.
Yeah.
You know, you got one of my friends doing one of my faves. Yeah, I'm down. So, you know, man, this whole thing's been so much fun for me, and I'm glad to be able to talk to you. I kind of wanted to know what it felt like to become the ambassador.
Well,
Sworn Nation.
All right, let's talk about that. You know, when I went to Fiend Fest and met Brian again, I took a stack of books for him to sign, and while he was signing, he says, "I've got something I'd like to talk to you about later." And I said, "Yeah, okay, cool." And you know, we never really got to sit down and talk, you know, because the
Fiend Fest was wild, crazy. I'm sure.
But he contacted me, I think earlier this year, I believe, and said that you know, said, I'd like you to be our official ambassador, or one of the official ambassadors for Coffin Comics. And I said, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, I like, you know, how you're giving. I like how you know, I love the Coffin Claws thing. You know, would you be willing to be one? I said, hell yeah. You know, and it was probably one of the greatest honors I've gotten in a very long time. And so I take that very seriously, and so I always try to make sure that, you know, continue to make sure that people get taken care of. That, you know, that I try to spread the. I've been very fortunate in my life. You know, I did 20 years in the Navy and retired, and then I got a great job when I finished up college while I was in, and then when I got out, I got a really good job. And I've been very fortunate with that job. So I can afford to kind of share the wealth, if you will, pay it forward. And so, you know, back when we first started, back in 2016, I just started to get
met Bob.
Yeah, and so I said I'm going to call myself Chaos Claus, you know. So I was Chaos Claus for a while, and I would watch Cyber Fiends and Collector's Corner, and when somebody would say, "Gee, I really wish I had a copy of like The Reckoning or Between Heaven and Hell," it's one particular storyline, and I would just take a copy out of my collection. And I'd get that person's address, and I would just send it to them.
Yeah, I remember catching a package from. I remember catching a package from the Claus.
There you go.
I know. I still have the package art because you drew on the Gemini.
Oh yeah, I do that goofy little coffin Claus.
Yeah. Okay, and I still have that, bro. It's still here somewhere.
I appreciate that.
I call it my mail art. I call it mail art, and I keep all of it.
So I went to when I went to Fiend Fest, Brian pulled me aside while we were there, and he said, "Hey, I'd like to ask a favor of you." And I'm thinking, "Holy cow, Brian Pulido wants a favor from me. That's pretty fucking cool." So I said, "Sure. What do you need?" He goes, "Could you change your persona from Chaos Claus to Coffin Claus?" I said, "Done. No problem. I'll retire Chaos Claus." And so ever since Fiend Fest, I switched from Chaos to Coffin Claus. So and I still do it. And people ask me sometimes, why do you do that? Why do you send this stuff out? Because I know that the joy that Lady Death and Purgatory and Evil Ernie and all the characters Brian's created, storylines, I know the joy that they have brought me, reading them and really enjoying the storylines. And I appreciate everything that has been given to me by Brian, the Onyx in Orlando and the honor of being the ambassador, and just all the other great stuff. And so I've kind of made it my mission that I'm going to repay Brian by doing everything I can to promote Coffin Comics and to make sure that Kickstarters are a success and to basically pay it forward. And so I don't mind, I've got a couple packages ready that I got to send to Australia. I got to time those out though, because the postage to Australia is a little expensive right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I get people's addresses and stuff, and I send them stuff like Carmen Sakara. Okay, Carmen is really big on Purgatory. She's like the Purgatory diva, and so I saw somebody was selling. I think it was Ozzy Perez. Was selling a Purgatory statue or figurine,
mm-hmm.
and it was one of the later ones, really nice one in a big box and everything. And so I said, Carmen really loves Purgatory. I'm going to get that and have it sent to her. So I got a hold and said, "Hey, I'll buy that." I said, "Can you send it to Carmen?" And so he said, "Yeah, no problem, dude. You're paying for it." So, I sent him the money. He packaged it up and he sent it to Carmen. And so every time I find some really cool thing from Purgatory in my collecting travels, I'll check with Carmen, see if she's got it. If she doesn't, I send it to her. And I do that just because she's a friend, and to me, that's what you do with your friends: is you take care of them and you do things for them.
Marseille, right? Marseille Phillips.
Yes, she's another new friend that I've made. That she's an amazing woman, and she's also an artist.
Yes. Okay. I have some art. I have some Marseille. Okay. I have Marseille Lady Death. I have Marseille Electra. I have Marseille Mary Jane. I have Marseille Pops. Okay. I love getting stuff from Marseille. She's so cool. And yeah, I do have something in mind for the next thing I'm going to have her do for me. After my son gets wet, after he gets married and we're back to normal again. Yeah, then I have a few plans. I see our buddy out here. We got William Samuel Quentin. He is the creator of 47 Furious Tales.
Ah.
So that's what I mean. A lot of the people that you're going to find in the madness are all creatives trying to get to this level. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like we all interact, network, and promote each other. And I mean, just like I share Brian's stuff, I share everybody's stuff, you know.
So I wanted to make an announcement on this program this evening.
Oh yeah.
A little plan I cooked up in my fevered brow, my fevered brain, and like I was telling you earlier, I try to support Brian and Coffin Comics all that I can, and I try to do what I can to help. So you gotta figure this Kickstarter, okay? This Kickstarter was fully funded in I think 16 seconds.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
That's just crazy. And they hit $100,000 in I think 16 minutes, 12 or 16 minutes. They hit $100,000. So this campaign is on fire and is going to break records. So I thought about it the other night, and I said, and I thought to myself, how can I help out? So here's the announcement. Here's what I'm going to do. This is me personally, and that is if we beat the previous Kickstarter total from the last Lady Death Kickstarter,
347,000.
Okay, if we beat that by $13, I'm going to pull a book out of my collection, and I'm going to send that to a randomly drawn person and Brian's going to draw the name out of the cauldron.
Cool.
Okay. Now, if we hit $26 over the total, I will send 2 books to a randomly drawn person out of the kettle.
Are you about to empty out your whole thing? No,
that'd be hard to do. And then finally,
how many 13s are we going to go before you say that's enough? That's
this is the last one. If we go $666 over the total of the last Kickstarter, I'm going to send 3 books from my collection to some lucky backer who will be randomly drawn by Brian out of the cauldron. And I talked to Brian last Friday. Brian says that Coffin Comics will tip in some bonus goodies in addition to what I'm sending.
Cool.
Okay. So what we'd like to do is have people use the hashtag Lady Death Record. Okay. And get out there and promote this thing and, talk it up, call a friend, call an enemy, as Brian says. Talk to anybody you need to, but let's get that number up. Hey, Marseille.
Her ears must have been on fire.
They must have. So if you'll use the hashtag Lady Death Record, all right, and get out there and talk it up and promote this Kickstarter, all right, and we can beat that $347 by those totals, then some lucky person is going to get a hell of a prize package for that.
Let me just throw it out there, Bob. That's not even going to be an issue. Hey, you're going to be about 365 this time, bro.
Hey, whatever it ends up, as long as it beats the record, and it's
I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm pulling this out. I'm pulling this out of my collection because, like I said, life's been good to me. Brian's been good to me, and it's the least I can do to help supercharge this thing. I mean, Brian turbocharges stuff. You're a witness to that.
Oh yeah. You want to hear a little something that goes just like this though?
Yeah.
Mojo Rising. We got 3 days left. We have 120 backers. I told everybody a while back, if we get to 125 backers, that I was going to sign the cameo appearance of Pops in The Crew #2. It'll be the first book I ever signed, and I'm going to do a drawing of the physical backers, and somebody's going to get that book if we get to 125 backers. You see, we're just little, but I think I'm thinking the same way. We're trying to think of ways to bring more people to the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, whatever it takes. I'm taking something out of my own collection. It's going to be the first ever signed book by Pops. And from the way it looks, there's going to be a lot of books with Pops in them out there. So this one might have, you know, it might actually be something. I'd get it graded if I was you.
Well, you know, we there's a group of us, kind of a subgroup of Sworn Nation and Cyber Fiends and all that. And, you know, we all chat back and forth in the group. And, you know, Tony Buck is in it, and Dane Ellingson and Troy and Gary Canterbury and
Josh Grimsley.
Yeah. There's just a whole ton of people in there. Well, you know, one of the guys was having some difficulties, some family problems, and he couldn't afford to do the Kickstarter, right? So all of us said, you know what, he's one of us, and we need to take care of him. So all of us chipped in and bought him a high roller package.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Okay. And so the last Kickstarter, same thing happened. One of the group, one of the guys was having some issues, so we did the same thing. We got it for him. And this is an example of why Brian is the best in the biz. Brian said, you know what? I appreciate what you guys did. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kick it up to the legend tier for this guy. Okay? He didn't have to do that. He could have said, hey, good job, guys, super duper. No, Brian's a man of action. Brian's the kind of guy that says, I want to make people happy,
Hey, I know that because look, in April, when I had Brian on the first con, we were talking about how we postponed the launch of Mojo because of COVID. And we just didn't feel, we had the same reservations Brian had about what to do right at that time. And so we went ahead, put the brakes on it, worked on the book, got a colorist, made it better, added some pages, and then finally we got to pop it out here in August. But it was a lot of stuff we learned from Brian in that conversation, about where we were going to go. And what you're saying about him being totally cool, it was like right after that, I got the idea of an Easter egg. Can we get a Lady Death Easter egg in our book? Brian, dude, can we get a Lady Death Easter egg? And he's like, I don't know, what do you got in mind? And I said, I don't know, maybe just somebody coin up. Maybe just somebody coin up. That's all. And we showed, he said, draw it up and let me see what it looks like. So we drew it up, which is the hand right there holding the coin.
Yeah.
Lady Death coin. And he said, do it. And it was like, yeah, that guy is so freaking cool. He didn't have to do that.
Does your hand still hurt?
Yeah, my hand still hurts a little bit. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi.
Hello.
This is Sophia. This is
There's only one person.
Yeah, well, there's a whole bunch of people watching. Trust me. Oh.
You're live.
Yeah, you're live in the madness and in the nation. You don't know what to think about that, huh? Say hi, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
There you go. How's that? Yee! Yep, that's one of the 4. We always get appearances.
So, it's an amazing culture and it's an amazing group. And I mean, you talk to people who join, and they'll tell you that, one of the things that draws them in and holds them is the fact that they do feel like they're with family. They feel like they're in a place where they can get away from all the hassles and all of the turmoil that's out there right now, and they can come into the group, Sworn Nation or Cyber Fiends or Collector's Corner.
Or the madness.
Yeah.
Or the madness.
Or come to the madness.
Yeah.
And they can escape from all of the treachery and all of the drama that's out there, and you can just relax and just enjoy a hobby that you share with countless other people. People who think and see things the same way you do, and politically you may be separate, and ideologically you may be separate, but all of us have the same common love of collecting, and in this case, the love of Lady Death and the Coffin Verse and all of the wonderful characters and storylines that are involved, and we share that together, and it brings us closer together, and we can actually have big gatherings and virtual online things, and everybody just loves it. Brian did that online con earlier this year.
Yeah, that was the whole thing that set it off, because we were even talking about it the day that ECCC went down. I was like, oh crap, what are we going to do? And I was like, Brian, what are you going to do? And Brian, of course, has a big enough following that, next weekend we're going to make something happen. Well, I had to promote mine for a month. I had to talk about it and make sure people knew about it. I didn't have that kind of a following, but Brian came out for it, and that gave it, every bit of the credibility that it needed to grow. And that's just the kind of guy he is. He saw that I was trying to do something for everybody else. He had the means to do for himself. He got everything sent back home from Seattle. He was ready. Bam. He got, he got everything sent back home to get shipped out, and he did it right there at home. Bam, bam, bam. Let's sell this stuff. And it was like, okay, he jumped in with both feet. I can jump in with both feet. We're going to do CromCon. And like I said, I had to talk about it for a month before we had what I felt was a big enough audience. We didn't have a problem getting guests because the group was so many creatives. It was really easy filling the roster. And this one filled in 6 hours, Bob.
Wow.
2 days, and I had to go and extend it to Friday night and do a pre-show Friday night because Saturday and Sunday filled up in 6 hours. It was crazy. So because of people like Brian and giving it credibility early, it's grown into something that actually makes a difference now, and it's still 100% free to be part of it, to watch it, to be a guest in it. Just like this right here. Okay. It's kind of like this. You get a block of time and it's your time. If you want to just be out here talking about Lady Death and bring guests from Lady Death out to talk to people, that's your block of time. You get to do whatever you want with it. Okay. If you want me out here to do a Q&A, I'll be out here with you and do a Q&A. It's if you got cosplayers, whatever. Okay. It's like everybody, we got all kinds of stuff going on this time. It's pretty crazy, and of course it's going to end again with Brian. And how cool is that? It's going to end again with Brian Polito.
It just feels right,
It does. I mean, I wish I could get him out every month, but that's kind of much. But at least I like to get him out once during each campaign.
Right.
When he's doing a campaign, I'd like to get him or you out to the con or to Monday Madness so that you guys get to talk to our people too, and our people, Madness people, the Sworn Nation. If you're a Lady Death fan, if you're a Coffin fan, Evil Ernie, join the nation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's the whole thing. It's all about bouncing everybody's fan bases off each other, getting extra exposure for each other during this time when you're not setting up tables. All these guys are taking a hit. Come on.
Oh yeah.
All of them. You look how much more money Brian be making if he was setting up tables.
Sure.
Even Brian's taking a hit right now. Everybody's taking a hit. So, anything we can do to boost for everybody. Yeah, Brian's got a great, big, giant, successful campaign, but you know what? It's following in the footsteps of people like Brian that get you guys to having a great, big, giant campaign.
Right.
You know, and bouncing off his fan base, and the same with him bouncing off other people's fan bases. He gets more fans that come to look at his stuff.
Sure.
That's what the cons were basically about, was expanding everybody's fan bases, get you to come look at everybody else's stuff, you know, and it's working good. A lot of people are just popping off some really good stuff right now, and it was the perfect time to expand everything, open up a new crowdfunding site, you know, just whatever we can do to serve the indie community. And now it looks like it has good possibilities, but without people like Brian, without even that EBS guy, you know, I mean, without people like this out here popping off these massive campaigns that give hope to the little guy, you know, if those guys weren't successful, would everybody be wanting to do Kickstarters all so much? They're looking at that end goal, you know, like,
Yep.
okay, down the road, can I make that kind of money if I put in the dedication and put in the time? Down the road, you can, obviously, if you got a good product and you take care of your fans. Geez, there's no way to express how important that is. The fans were the ones. We're the ones that are buying the shirts and the hats and the vests and the movie tickets and the books. We're the ones that do that. And the people that keep us happy are the ones that are massively successful right now.
Yeah, well, look, you know, Monty Moore just finished his Kickstarter, the
Yeah, and
Loco
the
Hero.
timing on that one was so bad for me, man. I couldn't back Logo. The timing was just bad.
Bill Tucci just did She.
Yes.
You know, so you know, there's a lot of people out there putting out a lot of good stuff, and I'll be honest with you, when I was a kid, my favorite comics were Sergeant Rock. You know, all the war comics, all the comics about, you know, war, because you know, when I was a kid, that's what I was into, right? And so, you know, I did that, and then, you know, growing up, I wasn't really like a Spider-Man, Batman. I mean, I watched Batman when the series was on TV, but past that, I didn't really do the comic books with that, and so, you know, I've always been more of an indie kind of a guy. And in '94, when I started collecting, I just walked into a comics shop that used to be a couple miles down the road from my house, and you know, the guy, I walked in and I bought some Coca-Cola cards. They had the card sets from Coke for my wife because she collected Coca-Cola memorabilia. And when I was in there, the guy who ran the shop, his name was Mickey. He says, "Hey, man, I got a comic you need to try." And I said, "Yeah, what is it?" He said, "Well, it's called Lady Death." I said, "Lady Death? What the hell is that?" And he goes, "Oh, man, that's it. It's really good. You gotta read it." So I bought, you know, the first copy, not the first copy, but, you know, the Reckoning #1 with that iconic, you know, foil cover, and I read it and I was hooked. I was like, "Oh my God, this is fantastic." And that got me into, you know, collecting Lady Death. But, you know, so since he ran the comic shop, he got like dealer incentives. He got all kinds of special stuff. So every time he would get all this special stuff, he'd put it in my pull. So consequently, I ended up with all the variants. I got all the special editions.
I was wondering how you scored all this stuff, because I know you just got stuff and stuff and stuff, and I'm like, how does he do that? Well, now I know for how many years you were getting your box filled.
Yep. I mean, he even got me. He said I got my first French and German editions from him. You know, because I saw him up there, and he said, "You want those?" I go, "What do you think?" So he grabbed them, put them in my box, and he got me the very first Lady Death versus Vampirella, right? The Dark Hearts, and it's got Lady Death and Vampirella on the cover fighting. Well, they put out 3 versions of that. They put out the regular version with the gold colored lettering, but they also put a gold foil lettered edition out and a blue foil edition.
Right.
And I have never seen one on eBay, and I haven't seen anybody else with one, but I've got them, and so I was one of those people that I would buy a reader copy so I could read the story, but then I would buy my collected copies, and those would go right into either a backer board and a bag or a Mylar sleeve, and they didn't get read, And back then, that's back when Brian first started doing the octagons. Okay. And the octagon was a leather cover, and he did one for the Crucible series. He did one for the Wicked Ways series. And what they were a blank black leather cover edition of, like mine's Wicked Ways. Okay. And what he would do is he would invite artists to do a sketch on the cover. Okay. But he would only produce 1 sketch. And so he would produce a total of 8. All right. And those 8 would be the octagon for that series. All right. So he had all the different artists do those. But the thing that makes the octagon so unique and so collectible is, like, mine is a sketch by Stephen Hughes. Okay. Signed by Stephen Hughes. And it's the only one of its kind. Okay. So it's kind of like, I guess, the early version of an Omega, except that it's a one-of-a-kind design. It's an actual sketch, and there are no others, And back then, you could get them for $100. But the internet was not a big thing back then, so you had to actually send a check through the mail to Brian with the cutout of this is the one I want, and order it, and hopefully you got one. And if you didn't, of course they would refund your check, but you had to grab those quick because they went fast. As soon as they were advertised, they were gone. So I was fortunate enough to get one, and I've got a number 2 of 8 in the Wicked Ways series of Lady Death, with a sketch by Stephen Hughes and signed by Stephen Hughes. So, and then of course we unfortunately lost Stephen in '99, I believe, to cancer. And, when I think of Lady Death, and I mean no disrespect to any current artist, okay? But when I think of Lady Death, and call me an old shit if you want to, I don't care.
We're
but
boomers, bro.
when I think of Lady Death, I think of that iconic image by Stephen Hughes. To me, that's Lady Death. I have all the other, I have Witchman and Moore and Harrigan and McTagg and all the other wonderful artists that do them, and I love those. Don't get me wrong, but to me, Stephen Hughes will always be Lady Death's, artist.
And it's just like that picture I put up for Sworn Day. It's like I went through all the books, and I'm like, what am I going to do? I could have pulled one of the new ones off the wall, but I didn't want to do that because I had to take it out and open it up because you had to be reading it. So I had to go with the Bible. But Brian, I implore you, we need a coffin Bible.
There you go.
We need a coffin Bible. I love my Chaos Bible, but we need a coffin Bible.
That's a good idea.
Maybe a leather bound, maybe just like a Bible. Hey, I'm an idea man. What can I tell you? I told Brian a long time ago, any ideas I ever give him are his to use with in any way he wants. So, there's another one. I love my Chaos Bible. It's signed by Steve and Jack and Jason and Brian, but it's time for a coffin Bible.
Yeah, the other thing I really like about Lady Death and about Coffin and Chaos is, again, it's without trying to sound like a fanboy, I think it's a tribute to Brian, but everybody he gets involved with is just a hell of a nice person. I was fortunate enough to get to meet Jason Jensen at Fiendfest. And my goodness, he is such a down-to-earth, friendly, just, you wouldn't think that somebody as famous as he is and as talented and as incredible work as he does, you figured he'd have a case of the big head, but he don't. He's a down-to-earth guy. Dave Harrigan's a down-to-earth guy. Mike DeBalfo, Jesse Witchman, Yo-Yo. Hell, we could do another whole hour-long show about Yo-Yo. I love that woman to death.
Yep.
But Brian has a knack for finding, incredibly talented people, but they, besides being incredibly talented, they're incredibly nice people, So, my hat's off to everything that Brian's done and everything he's going to do, because, this Kickstarter's got 11 days to go, and I would be willing to wager that we haven't even seen the coolest stuff yet.
Well, he's going to turbocharge it, because that's what he does. And I told him it's got to be Sunday. You got to get that out in there.
That's right.
I love Brian, and I love his enthusiasm. And that's part of what drew me to him as a fan, was because it's like, this guy knows how to sell. This guy has a marketing plan. This guy's thinking about how to make us fans happy.
Yep.
And that's what we're trying to do with our little teeny tiny book, Mojo. We're trying to, give you a great product, give you some great perks, give you a reason to come back. That's all.
Hey, but let me tell you something, dude. When Lady Death first started out, or even go back further than that, when Evil Ernie first started out, they were little, they were teeny tiny, they were just starting out. But if you follow his lead in the way he does things and the way you approach it and treat people, and your story is good, there's no reason why you can't grow either. Yeah,
that was what I wanted to tell you, Bob. We talked about this book for 8 months before we finally got to launch it. Okay, so there was some anticipation. There were some people that had been waiting and seeing little snippets of it, little art blast here, little this and that. It funded in 48 minutes, bro. First time book, Yeah. So the pressure for whether or not it was going to fund came off right away. Not 16 seconds, but 48 minutes. So once the pressure was off, then it was all have fun and push the book.
Yep.
If we were down here 3 days to go and we were still $500 from being funded, I wouldn't be near as happy right now. I'd be trying to be happy, but I wouldn't be near as happy as I am.
Yeah.
But I put a lot of time, a lot of time into making sure people were aware what was going on the whole time, especially during when COVID hit and we decided to wait. It was like, okay, everybody, don't freak out. We're not going to do it right away, but we're going to make it better. We're coming at you with a new colorist. We're coming at you with more pages. And we kept updating people and keeping them interested. It's coming. Don't worry. It's coming. And when we finally launched that dude, man, it was a real good feeling to be funded in under an hour. Our goal was 1,500, but we were funded right away. And right now we're at 4,200 with 120 backers. And I'd like to bring some more sworn people in, because there is the first appearance of the Lady Death coin in a comic is in Mojo Rising.
Well, send me a link. And I'll jump on that Kickstarter.
I will definitely do that. It's it's fun, and I want you to know also that following as well under the right business acumen for that, this book is done. It will go to print as soon as the Kickstarter's over. There's not going to be no goofy delays. You know, we're not waiting to pay an artist or anything like that. This book's done. As a matter of fact, book 2 is halfway done.
Nice.
We're not, we're like, this is rolling, bro. My grandson created a character that's going to be in book 2. My 7-year-old grandson created a character that's going to be in book 2. So we're having fun, and we're trying to make sure, that everybody understands that the same type of thing going on here is what's going on over there. We're trying to have a good time, man.
I'm hoping that one day Brian will find a way to work Coffin Claws into one of the storylines.
Oh, I'm sure he'll probably do a holiday special at some point. Oh, is that another idea for? I mean, he does the Halloween one, but why not?
You never know.
Why not a Coffin Claws comes a calling? Oh, is there even a name for it? and just think of the reindeer names we can come up with.
Oh man, can you imagine?
I get to be part of that when you guys put that together. I want to be part of naming the reindeer.
Okay. I've got a whole stable of elves that work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually go out and get me addresses and that kind of stuff so that I can do what I do. And, I love every one of them. And, I'm only out to help people. That's it, man. I'm not out to, some weird stalker shit. I'm just.
And also you're the same as me. You ain't never thought about like trying to make a bunch of money off this. It's just been about the community and the people and having a good time. And that's exactly what I've done since the beginning, man. It ain't never been about, oh, what can I do? How, what can I do to pad my wallet? Dude, I don't even make back. I don't make what we spend on the internet.
Hey, I know exactly what you mean. Look, I spend more in postage, sending shit out to people.
Yeah.
And I pay for all my own books. I give away my own books. I go on eBay and shop around and buy stuff for people. I do that out of my pocket because that's just what that makes me happy. Okay. Call me a kook, but that makes me happy.
That's what I'm saying. That's what sets you apart, man. And it's kind of the same with Brian. It's what sets him apart. And that's what I tried to build with the Madness, was a group where everybody could come in there and all the rest of the world stayed out. You come in there, you network with people in the community, you show off what you got going on, and that's all. We don't. There's no argument. We don't even have who can beat who posts in that group because people argue. We don't even do those. We just network, promote, try to get the word out about what everybody's doing to better, everybody, for the betterment of everybody. That's what that group was created for. And I get to say stuff like, and Monty was a founding member. And Brian was a founding member. These guys have been part of it from the beginning, I mean, way back the last week in October when I created the Madness, those guys were some first people that jumped in, So, I mean, it's not just like, oh, they're these guys. They're these guys that helped us build this group right from the beginning,
Yep. So I got to meet Monty a couple years ago at a comic book signing down for Gotham City Comics. That it was Corey Palmel and Marco Folletta, and those guys had a big comic book signing for wrestling, the Wide World of Wrestling, or I don't know, something like that. And Monty came there for something, or to as a guest, and I got to meet him, and got to meet him in person. And he was a wonderful person. Also got to meet Michael Stevens,
Stevens, wasn't he involved in the crew #1?
I think so. Yeah.
Him on my wall too. Oh,
no, you know
my
what?
wall too. You know.
Monty came up for the one that the Collector's Corner put out, the Steam Age Wasteland.
Steam Age Wasteland. Yeah, I got 2 copies of that too.
Yeah, Monty came to that, and I got to meet him, and he's just Monty's an incredible person, like I said, and even in person, he's funny, and he's very giving, and he's very caring, and I've followed him ever since, and him and I have gotten to be very good friends, and I make a lot of pens and a lot of leather stuff for him, and
Well, it's funny because I joined his newsletter a long time ago when he first started that Maverick newsletter.
Yeah,
I joined it. First thing happened was I won that Reaper right there.
Oh, cool.
First thing, right away, it was like as soon as I joined his newsletter, is like I won the next drawing. I was like, sweet. It's signed. It's a signed Monty print. And man, I really want. He knows I want a copy. There's a copy of the pencils somewhere too, or you can get copies of the pencils, the print of the pencils of that too. I want the pencils too, so I can put it side by side. My son, I asked him. I said, "Son, for my birthday, I need a portfolio."
There you go.
I need a portfolio so I can take all the prints down and make more room for original art, because I'm running out of room here. I'm getting quite a bit of original art on my walls, Bob. It's getting crazy, man. It's like that Electra right there. That's a Marseille.
Yeah.
But it's like I got Andrew Mangum right there, the Hatchet, John R. Smith, the Pops Jedi, and Jack Purcell up there, and Gaz up there, and Adam Fields and Jim O'Reilly and JT Malloy and our boy up here in Michigan, our friend right there, Michael Leon. Yes.
Okay.
Oh
yeah, Michael Leon. I remember him.
We got some guys up there, and some Jonathan Brooks up there, and Sean Howe and Greg Harms and man, it's like I'm running out of room again. So I need to take all the prints and put them in a portfolio and open up some wall space. It's getting crazy.
Talk to Jason Coates, because he is the godfather of OA.
Oh, I know. You guys got it all. Troy's got it all.
Troy does have it all. him and David balance.
Yeah. They got it all for sure. It is so cool though to be able to talk to you about all these people, because we, a lot of them are in the madness, but we don't see them too much, because our feed scrolls. Even if you said something, if I wasn't watching, I might miss it entirely, because there's so many people posting, and it's all promoting, and it's all networking, and everybody's showing off their art, the project they're working on. And it's like you can just scroll through there and just see so much cool stuff. But so many of them are intertwined with the nation, and like Greg Horn and Mike Chrome, and all these guys are in the madness too. We're all watching. I need them to post more though, guys. Show us what you got going on. We don't mind. So,
there you go.
One of my favorite sayings is self-promotion. I love self-promotion, but not selfish promotion. Give everybody else a little love too, you know, and that's how the indie world grows right there, And Brian does it with all the people he includes in his books, all the different people he has doing covers and stuff. He understands. He understands,
He absolutely does. Yep.
And we, like I said, man, we're learning a lot from watching the Fiend, the Arch Fiend. We're learning a lot. We hope that Mojo does some of the same kind of pull in the next few years, and gets that kind of a fan base that's that rabid. I don't think we're going to have high roller packages like that people are going to spend that kind of money on for a few years, but We just want them to buy the book right now. You know?
You gotta start out slow, and it'll pick up.
Yeah, we just want them to buy the book right now. You know,
Yeah.
We do have some pretty good perks, though. We do have some pretty good stretch goals and what we call backer rewards, which we get to a certain level of backers and they throw randoms, random sketch cards, whatever, little one of a kind things in just random books. And every time we get to a different stretch or a different backer level, because the people are more important than the money. That's the way we look at it. Stretch goals are all good and everything, but backer rewards tells people we care about the people.
Right.
So at 125, they have a hidden backer reward. We're 5 away from it, but I already told you I'm giving away something out of my personal collection and making it a one-of-a-kind thing, the first ever signed book by me. So it's like I understand totally where you're coming from and trying to do stuff that make the fans go, all right, they're trying to do something special, something one of a kind, something that, when you get it, you're like, nobody else has this. We did the same thing for the Blood of Gods campaign. I said if he got to 80 backers, I would give away the only Crom etched glass that I have with our little Crom troll on it.
Yeah.
It's the only one I have. It's the only one ever made. And I said, if we get to 80 backers, we'll do a drawing and I'll give it away. Well, you got to 80 backers, so I did drawing. And, I got to package it up and give it away. It's the only one. But that's the kind of thing, what you're talking about. Something one of a kind, something that people are going, yeah, that dude cared enough to give away something that nobody else has. That could have been my one of a kind thing, right?
Right.
But, this is what we're talking about, including everybody else in it too.
Yep. So to recap, Treacherous Infamy, the latest Kickstarter from Brian, for $26 pledge, you can get a free digital download, all unlocked bonus items, a free signature from Brian if you want it, free U.S. shipping, and then the tip-ins, as Brian likes to call them, 13 total. There's going to be 10 lucky winners, randomly inserted. You're going to have a chance at a Violet Medal by Colette Turner,
yes,
a Scarlet Medal by Stephen Butler,
yes,
Ashcan preview for Lady Death, and there's one for Devillock that Brian's given away, and the one I think is incredibly cool, the sculptured edition by Ken Lashley and Jason Fowers.
yes.
And then me personally, I'm going to, if the campaign reaches or gets to finishes at least $13 over the total.
Go ahead and you say it. At the end of the campaign, you're going to be giving away a whole bunch of stuff.
Right. At the end of the campaign, if we go over 13, I'm giving one book away. If we go over 26, 2 books away. And if we go over at least $666, I'm going to give 3 books away out of my personal collection. And Brian and Coffin Comics are going to tip in a prize package as well. And the backer will be randomly selected by Brian out of the cauldron. And that's hopefully an incentive to get people to participate. And please use the hashtag
Lady Death Record.
Lady Death Record. And Brian tells me they can track that hashtag, how often it's been used and who used it. And so get out there, tell your friends about it, tell your enemies about it, tell your mom and dad, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins. Tell everybody you know, and let's see if we can push this over the top. And do I mind giving up? No, I love being able to send out 3 books to some lucky winner, and there'll be some chaos, there'll be some coffin, and I may even throw in a little surprise. I've got a few Lady Death Fire and Ice action figures from the San Diego Comic-Con way back when, and there aren't very many of them. and look it up. You'll see what it is. I may throw one of those in if the total gets high enough.
And you see this right here,
The homage.
the homage. This is what we always get. They all go on the wall over there. That's, you know, that's the baby right there. This time by Stephen Butler and Dan Feldmeyer. Yes.
And $26. Think about it, dude. $26. Christ, you spend that on. Most people spend that on beer in a weekend.
Well, it's not just that; it's all the tchotchkes that come along with that.
Yeah,
That's
I mean
we call them tchotchkes.
You call them tchotchkes. I call them bonus. I call them bonus items. But man, that stuff is just amazing.
All this stuff right here, the free bonus items. Look,
cards.
You know, this the pins, of course, the pogs, the pins, the mini prints. You know,
and Brian's got that little mini book now.
Yes,
little mini comic.
And it, you know, I mean, he just keeps giving us more. You know, one of my favorite GIFs on Facebook is "Feed me more," and this guy does it. You know, yeah. I mean, the turbocharged. This right here, the sculptured, like you said, the Ken Lashley and Jason Fowler's, the sculptured edition. That just looks sweet. Now you see down here where it says 3 of the 13 copies are kept as file copies. So only 10 go into circulation out of these 13s.
Right.
I just want to make sure everybody understands that, because like the John Boy I got, you know, is like there's only 10 of them in circulation. So, you know, he keeps 3 of them for himself, you know, because you never know when the vault's going to open up and something special come flying out. Y'all got to keep track of that too.
Yep.
Never know when the vault's going to open and something special that you couldn't get before and never thought you were ever going to be able to get comes jumping out at you.
Exactly.
And there's the Scarlet, the Stephen Butler Scarlet Metal Edition. It's just crazy, you guys. It really is. This guy puts together the campaign that makes you want to spend money, even if you don't got money.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
And look, we're not even halfway. Look, we're not even close to halfway through all. You can't even go through here and really look at everything and pick something. You're just gonna go down till you see something you like and go, okay, I'm getting that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing the response that we get, and you know, it's hats off to the comment. And think about this too, Pops.
Sold out.
You're looking at sold out. That's the high roller, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sold out.
And the Mega Baller sold out, and the Legends is sold out. That's a Mega Baller. I think that the high roller sold out too, I think.
That's so great.
So, you know, oh, there's the high roller. You know, I mean, that just shows you, like, that's sold out. So it just shows you how dedicated and people are. But I'm telling you honestly, when you look at that set, that high roller set, and you look at all the books you get in it, and then price those individually, and then compare it to the price you're paying.
Look at all the places where it says sold out, y'all. If there's something here you were trying to get, this is one campaign where waiting is a double-edged sword.
Yep.
You might be waiting because you know Brian's going to put out something better. We all know it. We all know it. Okay? And you're waiting because you don't maybe not be able to get what you saw and then be able to get the add-on for the thing that you know is coming, because he does it every time. But it's kind of a double-edged sword. Sometimes you have to jump. If you don't jump, it might not be there when you come back here, you know? So it's kind of like, this is one of those campaigns where you can't really sit on it to the end. I mean, I can, because I know what I'm getting. We always know what we're getting. We're getting the homage. So I can sit on it till the end. I like to try and be the guy to push it over the edge, or, you know, it be around that time, right as it's getting ready to go over the previous record. That's usually about the time where Travis and I want to put our bid in. We try to be special. You know.
Well, like I said, I'm pretty sure that there's still some amazing things that are going to be tipped into this campaign as it draws closer to the end. So, you know, I mean, hell,
right there. He's gone over 312 since we've been talking.
Yeah, exactly. It was 311 when we started.
Uh-huh.
You know,
this is what I'm saying, people. This guy knows how to run a campaign. Look, there's 2,300 backers. 2,300 backers. That's a lot of people that are interested. These are the fan bases that you all want to bounce off. Be nice to these people. Get to know these people. Let them know about your book. Maybe they'll back you too.
Yeah, look, you sold me on the on yours tonight.
Do you want to take? I can pull it up real quick if you want to take a look at it.
Sure, why not, man?
And it's not mine. It's Raj Mahan's book. I'm just like a character in it, you know, which is amazing. Okay, I mean, first I just have to say that alone is amazing that somebody would want to take a chance of basing their book on not necessarily basing it on me, but using me as a recurring character in it and throwing that out there for everybody like, hey, this guy. But this is Mojo. Like I said, we got 120 backers and 3 days left, and we're at 4,200. And let me do a little scroll action here. Raj Mahan is the co-writer, the creator and co-writer. Manny Soto is the co-writer and interior artist. Edwin Artex Badillo is the magic man that we brought on to make the colors pop. We got some stretch goals right here. You see the 2,500 stretch goal was kind of special to me because it's the Battle Pops bookmark. We stole one of Brian's ideas. We got some Mojo dough. The $13 bill, not the $666 bill. You know, we did unlock 4 more pages added to the book, character bios and art. So now it's a 36-page book. These are the backer rewards I was talking about.
Okay.
Every time, okay, the first 50 backers of a physical tier got Mardi Gras beads. And at 50 backers, we unlocked this holographic sticker. At 85 backers, there was some randomly inserted sketch cards, I believe, by Greg Harms and or Manny Soto. I'm not sure who was doing that one. We had the tarot cards unlocked at 100 backers. I don't know what they're doing at 125, but some lucky person is going to get the very first autographed book by Pops of the first cameo of Pops in a book on that book with a John R. Smith Atari game cover, The Crew #2. Now, here's the first couple pages of the book. The lettering wasn't done when we put the campaign together, but the lettering is all done now. The book is completely done. Like I said, it's going to print right after the campaign ends. The guy behind me right there, that's Raj Mahan. That's the creator of Mojo Rising. That's the guy that brought me into it, you know, turned me into a character. For people who like Pops, you know, hey, get this book. And for people that don't like Pops, get this book. Because every time I annoy Raj, I'm sure he has me getting my butt whooped in this book.
Well, the good thing about it is, didn't you say this was the first appearance of Lady Death challenge coin?
Yes, the first appearance of a Lady Death challenge coin in a comic book. It's also the first appearance of course, every character in it. Mojo, me, the snake. All of us are our first appearance. This is Manny Soto. He's the co-writer and interior art. All the interior art is Manny. And he's a real good friend of longtime friend, like lifelong friend of Edwin Badillo. And when we first were putting the book together, Edwin was not available. And when the COVID hit and we had the delay, Edwin became available. And then the colors popped. So Keith Braun is our letterist. And he just like I said, just put the finishing touches on it. Greg Harms is the publisher out of Third Empire Publishing. You may remember from Roman Morales. He was partners with Roman Morales III. Outlaw Studios. And then there's the add-ons, digital, Big Easy. This was the connecting covers that we did with Voodoo Nations. Okay, this was a cross promotion idea, and Luke Stone and Travis Gibb, the guys that put together Voodoo Nation, got together with Raj, and they put some artists together, and I can't remember exactly who did the colors. I don't think Edwin did the colors on that, but it's blasting. I love that. That's what I ordered. I ordered that Voodoo Nation book and that Mojo Rising book. And then, we have the different tiers, French Quarter, Mardi Gras, Gator Bait, which has the Jim O'Reilly cover, which it seems like, man, everybody just loves this particular one right here. So we got Gator, the Flambeau, Bourbon Street, the Creole, which is get a favorite Third Empire artist, any of these artists to do the sketch cover for you. The Bourbon Street, you can get a sketch cover to do yourself or a sketch card.
Is that price right?
Excuse me?
Is that price right?
This right here?
$30?
$30 for a sketch cover and a card. Blank. Wow. Those are the blanks.
Yeah.
And then, the artist can do whatever they want.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And then for this tier, if you want one of these guys to do it for you, like if you want Jim O'Reilly to do sketch for you on the cover, then it costs a little more if you want one of them to do it. Rick Tyndall, Jim O'Reilly, Russ Oldham, Greg Harms is awesome. These guys all are awesome artists, as you can tell, looking at all this work right here. This is like your jambalaya. That's kind of like your high roller, I guess. We're getting up there in the higher tiers. Little bit of everything, man. The sketch cover done by artists, the blank sketch cover, all the prints, the bookmarks, the tarot cards, stickers, everything. And then you get the add-ons if you want to if you already ordered something and you decided you want the Gator cover, boom, $20. This one is the wraparound. And, stickers, cards, all, just we're trying to get it out there. This first one, we're trying to make it so that everybody's happy. Of course, we're using Gemini shippers. You're going to get your stuff in good condition. We're not trying to send it to you in a bubble mailer. We are collectors. We understand. But, that's what I'm saying. I'll give you a little, little look at the characters involved. That's Bayonetta. She's the jilted ex-girlfriend. She's not very happy with Mojo. And maybe I should turn that down a little bit. That's Selena Van Zandt, Pops' daughter. She's not happy with her dad. Goes to the dark side. Brute the Battle Pig. I'll leave that for what it is. Brute the Battle Pig. Brian Camilli, Pops Van Zandt, the backbone of the people. Woo!
You're right on.
And Mojo, the anti-hero. Now, Mojo tries to be a good guy. And for the most part, Mojo is a good guy. But Mojo has this little devil on his shoulder in the form of that snake that you saw a little while ago.
Yeah.
Hera is she's like the devil on his shoulder. She's always the one trying to plant the bad in him. So he's a good guy, but he has some bad influence on him and things, ex-girlfriend, evil ex-girlfriend.
Yep.
And his sidekick's daughter's mad and hooking up with the other side, and it's gonna be fun, you guys. You're gonna love it. And the great thing about it is, like I said, we're already halfway done with book 2. This story has legs. If you like the first one at all, you're gonna love the second one. As a fan, I've gone out of my way to avoid the spoilers of this book. Not just because I'm in it, but because I'm a fan. So I've not let them tell me very much about it at all. You know, it's like I know what's on the Kickstarter, basically. It's post-apocalyptic New Orleans. Pops runs the bar, the black market store where people pick up the stuff they need to survive. And that's about all I know. You know, oh yes, and let's not forget Raj's great idea of the Iron Maiden font. Trying to kill me, boy. Yep, Raj is here. It's a party now. Yes, at the moment we're checking out Mojo Rising. We talked about Lady Death and my friendship with Bob and all the great stuff that Bob's been doing with as the ambassador to the Sworn Nation. Stuff coming up. The Lady Death Kickstarter, you know, at $312,000. We watched it top that while we were sitting here. It's an amazing campaign. Obviously an amazing creator and an amazing crew. And when you look at his fan base and you have people like Bob out there making it happen, see, that's kind of how I feel like I'm the ambassador to Mojo, and that someday I'll be, you know, I'll be the guy talking about the book making $300,000.
There you go. All you gotta do is believe, brother.
I do believe. Trust me, man. I do. You can ask Raji. I've never had a doubt that this book was going to fund and that we were going to take it to print. And like 48 minutes, it funded. And I think like 3 minutes after that, I got a message from Raj that said, "I'll never doubt you again." And it's like, you know, we've been rolling it out ever since, man. You know, like I said, when that pressure went off right away, that made it really easy to have fun after that. And think of new ideas. What can we do next? What can we do next? You know, if we were still sitting here struggling, trying to get funded, and we only had 3 days left, I'm sure it'd be a much different feeling, you know. But that having that pressure go off right away, it's been a fun 27 days, man. You know?
Yeah, there you
go. And yes, let's see. What do we got? Robert, I can tell you if you hit 350K, he designed something cool. Robert, I'm going to tell you 365 is the goal, my friend. That's the prediction of the Pops for this particular campaign. I've been pretty close every time. Every time. I think the first one I was a little low, but I've been pretty close since then every time. So, yeah, we got 365. That's the goal we're pushing for. Yes, I see what he said. Yes, I do. He's going to design something cool. We like that. We love it. That's what happens. Now, if Mojo gets to $5,000, what you going to do for me, Robert?
There you go.
See, that's what my whole thing has been trying to network. And keep people involved and get people excited about it and cross promoting or whatever and stuff like that. That's exactly, you know, that's how you do that, you know, just like asking, come on, man, I'm a nobody in comics that's never done anything. And I'm asking Brian Polito, yo, man, can we put your coin in our book? I was nobody. It happened. He said, okay. Don't be afraid to Easter egg and cross promote with each other and talk to each other about, you know, hey, a scene in any comic can have a poster on the wall. In any panel, you can have a poster on the wall. And that poster could be an Easter egg of one of your fellow creatives.
Yep.
Okay? It's really easy to do this stuff, man. You just talk to each other. You just talk to each other, man. You know, I had no credit, no nothing in comics. You know, Brian could have just laughed at me and went, right, get out of here. You know, I mean, he had faith in what we were trying to do and obviously admired the fact that we were willing to go to him and say, "Yo, can we do this?" You know, it's like,
yeah. Brian's a good man. He's very humble, and he's a creative genius, and that's one of the things I think that draws people in is he is honest and straight up. I mean, that's the guy. The guy you see is the guy he is. You know, there's nothing phony about Brian. Brian's straight up 365. He's one of the most amazing people I've met. So, you know.
well, I mean, like you say, definitely he's always going to have a special place with me and my family because he's the one that lent the credibility to what we were doing in the beginning, that gave us all the confidence, and the group and everybody involved with the cons and stuff. It gave us all the confidence to keep doing it. Oh, Brian Polito was here. Brian Polito was here. Yeah. You know, I mean, that gave us that credibility. You know, you don't realize how many views we had of that particular segment of the first con. We still have people that watch that. That segment. You know, I mean, that the views for that go up all the time. People still watch that. It was 6 months ago. You know? But it was a great interview. You can learn so much as a beginning Kickstarter or a beginning creative that's just putting out your first, campaigns or something. There is a whole bunch of good information in that interview because we had the whole team out here picking Brian's brain. You know? The whole Mojo team was out. Raj, Russell, Jim O'Reilly, we were all out here picking Brian's brain. So, it was like, I'm hoping that what we did, I hope he looks at what we did and gives us a little that thumbs up because we tried to model what we were doing after him. The only difference is that I do have a personal Facebook page and I do throw my opinions out on my personal Facebook page, which is my business. But we keep it out of the group. We keep it out of our comic life. I mean, I accept everybody and anybody. We don't gatekeep. We don't, we love the comic industry and we want everybody to get along, network, make money, whatever you're doing, be creative.
Yep. I'm with you, man. Man, it's an hour and 42 minutes. I never thought I'd make it this far. You're a good interviewer.
Well, see, that's what I was saying when you asked earlier. I was like, man, we're just gonna talk and have a good time. We're and I mean, yeah, we're probably winding down a little bit, maybe starting to repeat a couple of things, but it was fun. And
I loved it.
Bob, dude, we're gonna do this again, man. At least for sure during every campaign, we're gonna get you out for a Monday Madness, and like probably just like this, the week before CromCon, try and get Brian out for the CromCon during his campaign. You know what I mean? So we'll try to kind of make this a definite thing every time you guys are running a campaign. And that's not just Lady Death, that's La Marita, whatever you got going on.
Hell Witch.
Yeah, you guys are always welcome to invade the madness, man.
I appreciate it. I do, and I hope I haven't worn out my welcome.
Oh, hell no, dude. That's what I mean. Come on. It's a meeting of two great nations right here. I mean, from before the madness, we've always been fans of Coffin.
Yeah.
So it's just an integral part of what we got going on, and we're always honored when you guys come over, share stuff with us. I mean, that's the other thing. That first con, Brian came out and did an, exclusive. He showed us something that nobody had ever seen before. The cover for the upcoming Kickstarter. It was a live exclusive on CromCon 1 that, it was like that kind of stuff. You can't beat that, man. You can't beat that.
No,
and I have no idea what the man has planned for Sunday night, but everybody putting the nail in the coffin again, this time in the 9 o'clock or 9:30 hours Sunday night. Mr. Polito will be out with Demonville to pretty much put the end put the nail in the coffin of CromCon 6. That's not saying I won't come out and have a little after party after that, but the final guest, the final scheduled guest will be Mr. Polito, the Arts Fiend. And I have no idea what he has planned. I have no idea if he's bringing other people with him or what. Phil's kind of been secretive about what's going to happen. So tune in Sunday night. Catch you some Polito live in the madness.
I think you need to have Augie Rocha.
He's also a part of the madness.
Yeah, because Augie's wild. I love his coffin with comics.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, everybody, all you nation people, you're all welcome. Same thing. If you're promoting something or you want to come out and talk about what Brian's doing, you guys are more than welcome to invade the madness. We have, Comics Cast has a whole bunch of shows. There are 10, 15 different people that run podcasts that have podcasts that are in our group. One particular network, Indie Volt, has a radio audience of over 80,000 people.
Wow.
Okay. Let's get Brian on Indie Volt.
Yeah.
Let's get him out there in front of 80,000 people. I mean, it's not video, it's radio, but he has the talk.
Yes, he does.
His talk is radio friendly. I mean, he covers that. They won't have to see him. They'd love to hear him. And it's all over the world. It's a worldwide audience. Barian, Randy, Lola, if you guys are listening, this is the ambassador to the Arts Fiend, Brian Polito. This is the man, Bob Chronister. If you want to get Brian on your show, we will try to make that happen. And I really think that Brian would really benefit. You want to bust 365? Let's get him on Indie Bolt, dude. Let me get him on Indie Bolt. I don't even have to be there, but I can get that hookup. If you can get Brian to talk to them, I can get them to talk to Brian. We'll get him on their show, dude. We could even do it before the campaign ends.
I'll talk to him.
They have shows Tuesday night, Thursday morning. Geekgasm is Wednesday night. They do a Friday drawing show. They have a network. They also have a comic news show every morning during the week. Indie Bolt, it's indievolt.com, but it's also Indie Bolt Facebook group, INDIEBOLT. Barry and Grant, Randy Zimmerman, old time comics people, great people. I really think we need to make that happen. Polito on Indie Bolt. I will talk to them. You talk to the man. We will talk about it.
All right. Works for me.
And that's what we're doing, people. Networking, promotions. That's what we do.
Yep.
And that's what you need to do. Just like that. If you got anything else you want to say, let it out now, or we'll go ahead and kill this dude.
I'm good to go.
It was great having you out, Bob. It was great talking to you. Don't talk to you near enough, man.
I appreciate everything, and I hope that there were some people from the nation watching tonight. And as the ambassador, I do what I can for who I can.
We put it in the nation. We fed it to the nation.
Oh, did you really? Cool.
Oh yeah, we fed it. Believe me, it's been shared out, bro. That's what my people do. They take my stuff and they share it everywhere.
Cool.
So,
I appreciate you putting up with me for the past hour and 48 minutes, and
like I said, I don't get to talk to you near enough, man. Anytime you want to talk, you just hit me up, bro.
Ditto, dude. Ditto.
All right. Make sure you tell Brian Francesca I said hello. Give my love to Brandy and everybody at the headquarters, and be cool, bro.
All right. Take care, buddy.
You too. All right. Now, I want to finish the show real quick. I want to throw out a little bit of indiecrowdfund.com. Y'all know why, because that's what we're about. That's what my focus is going to be on here for the next, who knows how long, man. It's what I need to do. So I wanted to pull that up again real quick. I wanted to show y'all how pretty it looks. We got rid of that goofy thing that was in the way. No, that is not the one I'm trying to share. I am so lousy at this. Let's see. Kill that one. Just kill it. Don't want that one. Okay. Let's try this again. Which page am I looking for? Okay, I got it now. Are you ready? We're going to look at indiecrowdfund.com. We have 28 retailers. And if you'll notice, that ugly box that was popping up in the way is now gone. And look, we have test campaigns. Test campaigns are up. Future campaigns that will be up soon, Niobe, Blind Sparks, Mojo. There are quite a few people that are putting together their campaigns to put up here. We're really excited about this, y'all. We're going to make this happen, and it's going to be good for all of you. It's going to be good for all of you. That's what the plan is. Now, personally, I've been out here a lot the last week or so, doing a lot of shows, trying to get that final push for Mojo, because, that's what you do when you promote. You try to get that push for everybody. Just want everybody to know. If your campaign is on indiecrowdfund.com, I'm going to be putting a lot of time into making sure that people see your campaign and that you're up there. That's not saying I'm not still going to kick that share button for everybody else who's not, but you're going to get a little extra special pull, a little extra special pull out of my time campaigning for your project. Everybody who's involved in this, everybody that's trying to make this happen, I'm going to try and help you out, man, as much as I can, because that's what we're doing. That's what this has all been about from the beginning. This group has been about helping people, and there's no way to describe how I'm feeling right now, 9 months, 10 months after creating this group. There ain't no way to describe it. It is way better than I thought it was going to be. It's grown into so much more all the way around, as far as promoting and networking, and now this indie crowdfund and things, the con and everything, for helping our community do better. And it's fun, man. I'm having a blast. So keep making good books. Join the madness. Join the nation. Join Comics Cast. Subscribe to Indie Comics Cast on YouTube, please. Please subscribe. We have 4,000 people on Comics Cast. We have 80 something on our YouTube channel. Everybody who watches this, please take the time to go to YouTube, subscribe to the Indie Comics Cast YouTube channel. And with that, I'm going to let you go, because I ain't had no dinner yet. It's almost 10 o'clock. I have this wonderful new book to read. Oh, yeah. Mike Barron. That Mike Barron. Florida man. Badger. Yep, that Mike Barron. So, with all that being said, y'all have a great night. I may be out on somebody's show tomorrow. You never know. It's not scheduled, but I'm not turning anything down, because we're pushing Mojo to the end. We got 3 days. I want to see some more backers, man. I want to be able to give away that first ever signed copy of a book with Pops in it. I want to give that away. Sue me. Peace out, everyone. Y'all have a great night.